Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Noonday with Bishop Derek Grier. My name is Davon, and today we'll be talking about how to navigate the political landscape.
Hello, Grace family, and it's good to have a chance to talk with you today. And I'm going to be doing the Noonday for today, and today we're going to talk about a subject that, quite frankly, literally is in the news, and that is how to navigate the world of politics we live in today. And quite frankly, to keep your sanity while we're doing it. I've been in politics now for 25, 26 years or so, and have been very fortunate to make pretty much my entire professional career in the political realm. Worked for presidents, had a chance to sit down and have meaningful discussions with presidents and members of Congress and all those things. And it's been a privilege. I've loved what I've been able to do, but I've never seen it like this. I've never seen it this divided. I've never seen it this just combative, if you will. And for believers, this can be a rough time of understanding how to not only so much just navigate it, but to tolerate this and to continue to do the things we do as believers, but also participate in the political process. Incidentally, the word politics comes from politikos, which is a Greek word, which means citizen. So politics is not a bad word. It's not something that is evil, if you will. It's something we've turned that way because we've added another word on top of politics, and that's partisanship. So it's been very partisan in politics, and all partisanship means it's very biased. And we've seen that a lot here lately. It's gotten worse over the years, but this is probably the worst I've ever seen it. And so, at the beginning of this election cycle, and really a few years ago, I started asking God about what is it that we as believers are supposed to do during this time. And I hope this will help. I had three little points that I wanted to share with you because I think they will help you. Number one is to be informed and not entertained. It is so easy to look at some of the things these folks are saying, some of the promises they're making, just some of the ridiculous nature of this, and almost have to laugh at it in order to not cry or just get angry. But as believers, our hope should always to be informed. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by informed. I'm going to read something from Deuteronomy chapter 1, and it's really from verses 13. And this is Moses talking, but he says, "So choose some men from each tribe, wise men who have understanding and experience, and I will make them leaders over you." And this is something that Moses was talking about because at this time they'd been in the wilderness for 40 years and they were coming out of it, and he realized that they needed wise people to be over them. They needed someone who had understanding and experience. And that's what I mean when I say be informed. Be informed about what's going on in the country. Don't just go with the rhetoric. Don't just go with what you read for headlines. Do some research on it. And after this is over, if any of you are ever interested in some good sites, some nonpartisan sites that are out there that can help you kind of look at this thing in a balanced way, that's the one thing that I would believe we really need to do is be informed and not entertained. The second thing I would say is to seek dialogue before you do debating. Dialogue before debate. We tend to whatever it is we believe or whatever we believe is right, we want to lead with that point rather than to understand where someone else is coming from. And this is important right now because no one's listening to each other. Everybody's talking over each other, literally, as we saw from the debates, and no one's really trying to get an understanding of what's going on, what people are feeling, what they're going through, and then using that as a ministry opportunity to talk to people, not about a politician, but about a king. And I really believe this is a great opportunity, despite all the craziness you're seeing, this is a great opportunity for us to go back and talk about the one who is greater than all and who truly has the government on his shoulders and not the shoulders of somebody who's saying they can take care of all your woes and problems. Like Moses said, and that's also in Deuteronomy, he's saying, I can't take care of all your problems. This is in Deuteronomy 1. He's saying, I can't take care of all your problems. I've got to have other people who can help share the load. So we know that the reason that we have people that are in government is to make sure they help share the load, not so much of the burdens of people, but the cares and making sure that we're working together to get things done. So make sure you always lead with dialogue. which is I'm going to talk to not to be understood, but to understand. Ask questions of people. If they have a belief that's not of yours or a partisan view that's not of yours, ask them why and get to understand, and then maybe get into the whole debate. But the anger that I'm seeing right now from people is because they're taking headlines, they're applying them to their biasness or their partisan biases, if you will, and then going out and making their arguments based off of headlines, quick one-liners and different things like that. Go and get the information you need to be informed. Like Moses said, wise, understanding, and experienced people. That's what we need right now. And the last one's the most obvious. Pray. And I'm not saying pray for a certain leader to win. Pray for this nation. Because we can only elect, or I should say that what we elect is what was reflected by what I thought it is at that time. Or, it's one of those things where you look at it and you say, well, how did this person get elected? How did that? It really doesn't matter. Our job is to pray, and to pray for that person to gain wisdom, for that person to begin to listen to wise counsel, for that person to have wise counsel around them, as it mentions in Proverbs too, as well. Not Proverbs 2, but in Proverbs. But to have the kind of wise counsel our leaders need. And I think if we do just those three things, and yes, obviously we're going out and voting, but making sure that you're informed, not to be entertained, but to know the truth about where people stand, because you're not going to find a perfect politician. You're not going to find a person that always comes right with the issues, but you want somebody who's willing to listen. That leads us to the second one. Dialogue, not debate. Dialogue, not debate, or at least not debate first. We tend to lead with the debate and skip the dialogue. Let's start with the dialogue. Let's then have a meaningful debate based on what? Being informed, not entertained. And that leads us to the last thing, pray. Once you know what's going on, once you've talked to people and know where they're coming from, then you can pray for them in a meaningful way, and pray for our politicians in a meaningful way. I've spent a lot of time around a lot of these folks. A lot of them are good people. And a lot of them are seeking truth just like you and I are. And a lot of them are believers even. But prayer is still needed for this nation. And it's not just to say, give us an outcome we want. We need to be praying to get the outcome God has for us, his will. And we're all guilty of that, of sometimes getting caught up in the moment, getting caught up in all the things that are going on. But I believe that our democracy is based on us choosing intelligently. In other words, like I said, being informed, creating dialogue, praying about what we need to do. And yes, at the end of it, go vote. If you don't vote, you literally don't count as far as the what's going on. And regardless of who you may stand for or stand by, understand that these are human beings, and they're not going to get it right all the time. They may not even get it right 50% of the time. But they're a reflection of us. So if we don't like them, we only need to take a reflection of ourselves and say, what are we allowing to be up there? So I hope this helps in kind of, balancing the thought process of this, because it's real easy to keep reading the social media posts, and sometimes we even post ourselves. I post sometimes myself, or reading things that are being said on the news, which, by the way, is unfortunately very biased in many cases. But pick wisely where you get your information from. And once you do have that information, begin that dialogue, pray about what's needed for our nation intelligently, and then go vote. Hope this helps. Grace, and hope to see y'all all again real soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us today. For more content like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And while you are there, remember to like and share this video. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell to receive future videos.